Hello, back to SEO Conspiracies with
Dixon Jones.
Dixon Jones from InLinks, Majestic, and Laurent from Rank for Win.
Rank for Brain.
Well, my partner made a mistake because it should be Rank to Win, but he used the 4, so it's called the Rank for Win, and sometimes I confuse it with Rank Brain. You know, I'm not that smart. But yeah, do some websites, Wikipedia included, have some kind of badge of trust,
prestigious status, you know. So I'm going to say I think this conspiracy is mostly true. I think that Google uses Wikipedia in particular as a trusted seed set. I think that way back in the past, Google used, actually, anybody that's as old as me anyway, I don't know about you, Laura,
Yeah, I'm old.
some people will know that they used DMOZ, which is an open source directory system, as a trusted set, and I do believe they did that. What they did was they downloaded the open source set, stored it locally, and created Google directory based on that, which hung around for a while, and I think that fed a trusted seed set for Google. I think that's kind of moved on, and I think their new trusted seed set is Wikipedia / Wikidata. And you know, I think InLinks believes that so much that we use Wikipedia as our definition of what is an entity. If there's an article in Wikipedia, then it's an entity from our perspective. Mm-hmm. Because it's open source, we can use it, and it's the only truly multilingual entity set on the planet. What do you think?
We're definitely getting into some urban legend territory, and again, it's our opinion. I remember back in the day, beyond the whole Wikipedia thing, it was about, well, first the demos. If you look at the topical PageRank algorithm, they used Open Directory project to know what is in relation to what, you know, but that's for another video, another day. The topical PageRank versus regular PageRank. But I remember that this whole whitelist thing makes sense, because if you determine a set of very trusted source, right? Let's say BBC, and then, so that's manual. And then the algorithm can kick in, say, okay, you got a link from the BBC, you know, or even like the Majestic Million.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, you got that top million websites, and then you got a link level 1, then level 2, level 3, and
unfortunately, there's some real crap in the Majestic Million websites.
Well, let's take the first 100,000.
Yeah. Whatever your set is, once you define that as a trusted set, then absolutely, because a machine learning algorithm needs to learn from a seed set of data. It just does. So you've got to have some set of data for a systems to start learning from. So that whitelist is essentially whatever's in that whitelist is essentially Google's training set. They have to have that. I think once there's an interesting corollary here, and I've written a big article on it on dixonjones.com, which knowledge bias bias in the knowledge graph, because given that a search engine uses a set of web pages, such as Wikipedia, to build a training set, the interesting side of corollary of that is that any bias that is within, say, Wikipedia manifests itself in the machine learning algorithms. So you could easily come up with situations like, all right, who's going to be the next president of the United States? And the algorithms go and go and go and go, and they suggest 1 million people, and they're all men, you know, because there's never been a female president of the United States. So a bad data set it's like garbage in, garbage out. You know, the machine learning is going to get worse and worse, and a small bit of bias at the start can create a massive bias in the knowledge graph at the end. And I think that puts far too much power in the hands of Wikipedia editors. Far too much power. And I think that there's a lot of effort having to go in to try and counter a machine learning algorithms that start to make big errors. Sorry, I'll let you talk because I've just ravaged on.
No. It's I was trying to think out loud because it's alive, meaning there is the data set, and then it needs to evolve because the world is changing and think. But you can. I was thinking about an experiment, or the idea of an experiment is how you can change the topic of a website without accessing the website, right? Just with surrounding the website with links that are going to transfer. You take the example that Sylvain Perronnet uses in his Sylvain Perronnet is the SEO professor in France.
Okay.
PhD in algorithm and stuff, and worked for Quant and so on. And so he's a very, very smart dude, smarter than me. And the example he takes is, how do you make a gardening website switch to a porn website? Surrounding the gardening website with a common element to gardening and porn, take like the cucumber, right? That you can find into the porn and into gardening. And you can make the website shift from one thematic to another. Yes, you
I
can.
think another way you can do that is in Schema as well, because I had I hope he was. Well, I won't mention him anyway. So a magician was using inlinks and was trying to associate topics with content for his website, and he linked a web page on Magic, obviously, to the Wikipedia article for Magic: The Gathering, which is giving an instruction. Really, it's giving an instruction to any machine learning language that this page is about Magic: The Gathering, not about Magic the Magician. True. So I think you could probably do it in Schema as well. So badly mapping web page schema would probably change the topic, or could do as well. So there's one other thing I wanted to say though, and it's not quite related to SEO, but I think it was really interesting about how machines learn and stuff. I don't know if this is true, but it was in the news. Facebook was testing bots on their systems, and they were having sort of AI bots trying to talk, and they started talking to each other, and they wanted to see how the conversation would go between these bots. And within a few seconds, these bots then invented their own language to do things quicker.
Oh, I think
they couldn't understand everything.
I think that's fake news.
Is it fake news? Okay.
But it does make sense. I mean,
it demonstrates a principle, doesn't it?
Yeah, that news I think is fake, but it does make sense that we do things that are just don't make sense from a machine perspective.
Yeah,
it's not logical to language or borders or stuff that human beings created.
Yeah,
just not. But to go back to this whole, does Wikipedia, even if some websites, Wikipedia or whatever reliable source is whitelisted by Google, doesn't matter. It's relevant. It makes sense that those websites, of course, it brings too much power to websites like Wikipedia to be the truth. And that's the danger of having Google being the la pensée unique, the unique train of thoughts, meaning you and Facebook and all stuff kind of put you into like a bubble, the famous bubble, and to have different opinions, to be able to look at it from a wide angle perspective is getting harder. You need to be really aware that it doesn't, and Google is very, very keen on, for example, I made the test with vegan, right? First, you get just the broad vegan, yeah, you say vegan,
yeah,
vegan stuff, right? And the deeper you search, very soon you are into the whole very extremist thing, right? About the whole veganism.
okay, yeah.
So once you're in the bubble,
yeah, you get pulled along with it. Yeah, it's true, and it's very hard to see out of it. And I know that I was in PubCon last year, and Bing were proudly showed a new idea, which was when a result comes back, they put two perspectives. So they put two ideas side by side in the results, so they try and stop an individual from going just down one logical argument without understanding, does God exist? Very good example, that really depends on who you ask, so giving two different counterpoints is kind of good. And I think Google maybe tries to do that a little bit in Google Discover as well, to try and take you out of your comfort zone a little bit and take you to places you didn't know you wanted to go to. But I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done on that to try and stop us going down bubbles. The problem is, I think that we're all quite happy in our bubbles a lot of the time, and we don't really want to see the other side of the coin.
Well, it's the cognitive bias of confirmation.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very, very powerful. I mean, we're now much more understanding bias and our personal biases than we used to, and there's a lot of research. And if anybody goes out there and does an MBA, the module on cognitive biases and stuff is really, really interesting, because I found that probably the most interesting part of my whole course, actually. And I think that machine learning algorithms are just as likely to suffer from those kind of biases, different biases, but same kind of concepts. Just mathematical ones.
I remember ages ago, I don't think it was Matt Cutts, maybe it was Eric Schmidt in an interview, who was also bringing up the point about the negativity on the internet outpowers positivity. And they had to deal with the fact that how do you balance out the point of view on something, because by human nature, people just, bring out the negative point of view more than the positive.
It's difficult, isn't it? I was running a Facebook group the other day for, we set up in our village to do deliveries during the COVID virus, and before it was all locked down, and someone put something out on their doorstep for someone to come and take, and said, if you want to take these things, please do. And then the next thing I saw on the thing is, whoever took all of them, and a moment, and I said, well, I can't. I'm taking that down because it's going to start a war. And she got very, very upset, and I got very, very upset because I don't like taking things down, but she also put it in another forum, the village forum that I don't go to because it's always so bloody crazy in there. And sure enough, it was going to go one way or another. They were either going to start saying, oh, the gypsies or the Eastern Europeans or the blacks or the whites or the whatever, or they were going to go, oh, stop it, you put it out there and gave it to people. What do you expect? And people are going to, it doesn't matter where you go from there. If you start with negativity, you're just going to breed negativity. So I hope she never sees this video. But anyway, apologies.
And human beings have the habit of picking up the most unlikely options. I mean, you see a light in the sky, that must be aliens, or things like that. But it doesn't mean that aliens don't exist. But as far as I know, no proof, real proof, has been brought up. And so yeah. Well, maybe for the next topic, it would be cool to talk about how do we reverse engineer Google? Can we reverse engineer Google?
Okay, talk about whether that's possible. Okay,
yeah.
let's do it.
Time.